Whiskey and White going all the way. What up, world? Welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey and White Show with me, your host, Tommy Mac. And once again, it's just a solo host because the mighty Celt is in Germany getting ready for his big fight, December the 7th in Waterford against Dylan Moran. Tickets are available now. Make sure you get one. This is going to be a war. You don't want to miss it. And this episode is brought to you in association, as always, with the #1 competition page in the world, our King's Competition. Make sure you get on and get a ticket. You can win anything from a car to money to a trip, the lot, so you don't want to miss it. And today, our guest is the #1 coach in Ireland, officially the last 3 years in a row. Is it 3? And former undefeated pro, St. James's representative, Mr. Dee Walsh. Welcome to the show, Dee.
Lads, we're okay. You're good at this. Just one go.
One go, first take. But it's great to have you on, Dee. And like I said, you've transitioned from boxer to coach, and you've picked up the coach of the year the last year in a row, and that's a public vote too.
Yeah.
So how does that feel to get nominated by your peers, so to speak?
No, it's brilliant. Something that honestly I never thought that I could even do, was coach. Do you know what I mean? I ended up just kind of falling into it through people just asking me to help coach them and stuff like that there, and to go from that until where it is now, it's powerful. It's been a brilliant journey as well, and a lot of experience again this last maybe 2 years more than the rest of the years.
Yeah, and you went from just jumping in, and would you say you jumped into the deep end of coaching? And in a short period of time, you've trained a world champion in Podrick McCarthy.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing. It's especially the fact that me and Poddy grew up in St. James's as a guy and know each other more than most. Me and Poddy would have sparred. The first time me and Poddy would have sparred was when I fought you in the second fight we had.
The second?
Yeah, because Poddy would have been pretty similar to Hayden, whatever to you. So that's when we first started sparring, and we sparred each other for about 5 years straight after that.
See, back then, was Podrick always a banger? Or
see, to be honest with you, I think as he matured and got his man strength, it multiplied. But at the same time, he always could bang.
I think I had as well, because I've sparred Podrick from amateurs up to even recent times as a pro, and I noticed his power just increase massively, almost in the space of 2 different spars. I had sparred him a load of times, and I remember I was in a gym and we were discussing, it was me and another 2 other fighters, and we were talking about who's the hardest puncher we've been in the ring with, and one of them said Podrick McCrory. I was like, Podrick's a banger. I've sparred him loads. I wouldn't say he's the hardest puncher. And then the next time I sparred him, and fuck, he probably is the hardest puncher I've sparred. But it just kind of it must have been changed while he's sitting down in the punches, or like you say, man strength from it.
Yeah, and also there's people who you don't really try to tell them that you've got power and you're going to knock people out, but because then they start relying on it.
Yeah.
But see, Poddy, because of maybe his confidence, I think when he started realising he was a big banger, he started not relying on it a wee bit more, but had more confidence in it. So then, I think it's when it started to multiply again after that.
Yeah, with the confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you say, you and Podrick grew up together in St. James's.
Mm-hmm.
St. James's, a notorious area in West Belfast.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like growing up? Did you have to join the boxing club to stay safe, kind of on the street, or was it just a thing everyone was doing?
No, so what happened when I started boxing was, I'd say for about 3 years we were running about the streets, mental, and there was a time where me and 2 of my mates, 2 twins, we put in curfew by the Ra, and I can't even remember what it was we done, but it was coming anyway at that stage. So
what age would you have been?
11.
11 on curfew.
On curfew, we weren't allowed to pass 7 o'clock.
Jesus.
And it was actually Rory Dalton came to me and says when we start boxing, because his older brother was a big Princess Lee Mohammed fan, and my brother, when he was younger, he won the Ulcers and stuff like that there. So I always wanted to do my brother proud because I always looked up to him. Still to this day, I look up to him. But I always looked up to him when I was, especially when I was a kid. So I was just to show off to him, be make him proud. But I think it was, in a way, God knows where I'd be if I didn't start boxing too. Because, as you said about St. James and hard.
Kneecapped. Oh no, curfew at 11, 12. You'd have been in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I can't even remember what it was over, to be honest with you. But I can remember me and Mama, his ma, and us three, sitting in his living room, trying to work things out. But it was really Dalton actually said, "Mum, I'll stop boxing." So that's when we went up to St. Agnes's.
Yeah.
But in St. James itself, like, it's an area like no other, because I've said in the past that it's the only place that I know, like, usually when people get successful in their areas, everybody gets jealous of them, but St. James is the total opposite. Like, I don't know one person who wants to see me or Poddy do bad or fail or whatever. Like, everybody has always supported me, especially when I boxed. And then now they do the same with Poddy.
Yeah, and it's evident in your career. You were selling out the Davenish, which is not easy to do.
Yeah.
And no small hall, but the whole community come out the back end, and it's with Podrick the same. He's known for the ticket sales that he makes, and even his fight in America that people travelled.
There was I think all together on the night there was like about 260 people or something in America, and I can remember they were all out singing, the Puerto Rican fans, and it was about 2,500 in.
Yeah.
And it was some night as well.
Germany as well. I saw the footage. You know, it looked like these were in the fella's backyard, but it looked like he was fighting in a friggin' false part.
You see, I'd say, everybody loves Poddy because he's a humble guy, he's a quiet guy, he's a family man. He's married to my cousin.
And
he's my first cousin. And so because he's like so humble and he's like a catchy as well, he's quiet, he doesn't like really put himself out there to be something that he's not. But that's what I try to install in the kids I train as well, is because you don't want to be run about and people, because West Belfast is a different type of place where you have to stay humble. Everybody's like hard, if that makes sense. So soon you're getting on, you're running about as if like you're Floyd Mayweather or Conor McGregor. It just doesn't go down well in West Belfast. So that's what I try to install in the kids as well. Be more like Poddy and Kakashi.
Yeah. And then, like you say, the uniqueness of St. James's as an area. I always noticed it growing up where it was like one big crowd, like everybody looked like each other, so we're all mates. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we all looked like each other because we all had the same haircut and stuff like that. There, wore the same clothes out of JD. But I love growing up in St. James. Like, see, even in St. James, I can remember we used to talk about who was the hardest dog in the area as well.
Hardest dog,
and I can remember I had a dog called Shep, and he was no good. He was,
what kind of dog was it?
I don't even know. It was like a giant sausage dog, but he was hard as nails, and he used to remind me of Rocky because he fought Poddy's dog one time, Zach, and they were like, "Here, Shep done Zach." But I doubt he did. Like, the sack was an animal. The sack was big. No, it was good crack.
Yeah.
Like, even I was like, talking to someone about it the other day in the football pitch. We made up ourselves. Every day we would have had tournaments in it, and I probably done more fighting in that pitch than I did in any boxing.
Yeah.
Every day, it was just fighting all the time over.
Did you
football.
Used to play different estates? Like
no,
St. James's
it was just more.
Or?
No, it was St. James. So I meant more because it was your area. It was like streets against streets.
Yeah.
No, it's brilliant growing up.
So you got in trouble then with the Republican movement. So you had to join the boxing club.
Yeah.
For your safety, really? When did you start picking up championships and stuff? Your first year, or did you box boy one?
Yeah. So I started kind of halfway through, and I get beat the first two fights. One fight, I can actually remember rob someone in the third fight.
Wins a win.
No, exactly. You take them when you get them. No, but I fought in the final of the Anthems, Chrissy Lavery.
Did he?
So he was boxing years, but he had boxed. I don't know, he must have third a pole last something because he was in Glen, and I beat Chrissy for the boy one Anthems. And then I beat in the semi final by.
So you must have been heavy in boy one then, or was Chris late?
48 kilo.
Yeah.
Boy one.
So that was big.
But
it's different now. The boy ones now are all fucking.
Yeah.
But that was huge back in the day.
Yeah. So But because I said about that, I could handle myself, and that's when I started. Like, when I got the hang of boxing, and started doing well because St. James got me ready for the ring.
And then, so you won. Was that boy one then?
Boy won.
And then how'd you go? Did you go to Dublin?
I've been to semis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next year after that, in boy two, like, I won everything again except the All-Irelands. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
who was getting you in Dublin? Did you box the same person or?
I can't even remember his name, but the first one was from Galway. I think the second one was from Cork. And then you were boy three.
Boy three.
Yeah.
I remember then. Did boy three? Yeah. So I boxed in the semi-finals against a guy named Podrick Gallagher. Not our Paddy, it's the Podrick Gallagher from Crumlin, and only beat him by a point. And then boxed you. Did you box in the semis or did you get a final?
When
in boy three anthems when we boxed.
I was meant to fight someone, but he was like 2 years older.
All right.
And I went to ring.
He's a ringer.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Because I seen him warming up, but I could catch beat him, I think, the year before. And I said to Frank, I think that guy fought Katsi last year. And he went over and done a bit of investigation, but he had to bring his birth certificate the next night, and then he wasn't able to fit. That's what happened. I can remember you beat.
It was Podrick Gallagher
from Crumlin, in
the semis.
In here,
and then
it
was like,
I was a good fit.
It was such a fight. He was beating me by 3 points out of the first round, 2 points out of the second round. But he said, "You're one lazy bastard." So I get out and end up beating him by a point. And then you're boxing near the final. And I was nervous because that was my first anthem final because I got to walk over the year before, and I knew you'd had experience. And then it was a crazy affair from what I can remember. Remember in close, we were holding and you were, "Come on, you bastard." It's Gary's business. And then we boxed again. Was it that next year in the Golden Cow Games?
I'd say it was about 3-4 months after.
Was it? And then that was an hour nip and tuck fight. Yeah. And then you got the decision that time. And then we boxed it in the anthem final again. That was a straight final.
Yeah, I can remember that time. Like, I played a lot of football that year, and you got really good that year. I can remember you used to box like the Plunkett style, like go forward, take center ring. But I can remember the second year we fought in anthems that you were more like Ali. I couldn't hit you at all. So that's when you started. I think that year you got silver, didn't you?
So that was the first year, because this is mad to think at 14. And that year when I started, because the clubs closed for the summer, so I went back after summer, and I said to myself, "You want to be a boxing great, you want to be a world champion. If you can't even win the All-Irelands, you may as well pack it in." I said that to myself. Yeah. So I guess this is it. If you don't win the All-Irelands this year, you're retiring. So I was training my balls off, but obviously in the club, Anthony Kikati, who's just a complete natural, who'd done fuck all training. Like, literally used to hide behind the bags and then show up the tournament, just bother everyone. Tyrone McKenna, who didn't have to train too hard either. He was just leaps and bounds ahead of everyone. And Eamon Finnegan was our champion too at the time. So I was like, I can't get away with what they're getting away with. So I really put my head down that whole year and trained. And then when we went in for the anthems, obviously it was 1-1 between us. And remember when they called it the draw in the boy 466 kilo final, we have David Walsh versus Tommy McCarthy. And I looked across and he just went, "The fucking bastard." So I was so like switched on mentally. And then I went on one All-Irelands at the end, and just then my career just kept winning. Thank God. But that was make or break.
See, people forget how good you were, but when we were younger, I can remember seeing all that. In my opinion, I think how good, how talented you were. I think you probably should have been fighting Usyk for a cruiserweight unification match.
A couple of people say that to me,
because see, I don't know what happened with you, but in my opinion, talent was like you were accurate. Like, so I mean, so
I actually appreciate it.
But I tell, and as I say, you can ask people, the kids I train, stuff like that. There, I tell them the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
like after that then, so we never were the same weight again.
Yeah,
But I remember
he was
obviously
down a
then
bit,
we
you know.
became, you know what it's like in boxing when you fight each other and then you become
Yeah,
mates,
respect.
and then you start cutting my hair.
That's right.
So and that made our relationship grow stronger. But then you were always there and thereabouts, and then was it the juniors you end up winning? It was a
the
hard division.
Yeah,
You weren't picked. You wouldn't have been thought to have won it.
I think I remember looking at the entries before you could see who entered. Like, I remember going, I think there was about 7 Irish champions here, and I had one of them. I lost 4 finals, and I think a couple of years before I get beat in like the first fight. Do you remember Christy Boyle?
Yeah,
he beat me like 2 fights in a row in the first round of the competition. But then what happened was our club folded at St John's. We were Frankie McCourt.
Yeah.
And we went to Holy Trinity. But seeing Holy Trinity at the time, I can remember they were just like, I was just left to hit the bag because I wasn't Irish champion or anything, and they had a good elite team and stuff at the time. And so at that stage I could practice all the stuff that I'd always wanted to practice, like the way Floyd Mayweather had done it, or Robinson, or Roy Jones, and Andre Ward. I loved all them fighters. So that was my chance to copy and do what they were doing. And wasn't saying Frankie was stopping me from doing it. It's just because I was left alone to go and do what I kind of wanted to do. And then I can actually remember when I was 19, I lost 7 out of 9 fights.
Did you?
But they're all like kind of bad point and count back. And I still remember boxing for Ireland one time, and I was 18-4 and get stopped with a bloody nose. He hit me a cracker, and the blood was just goosing everywhere. And the referee started, so it was just getting bad luck.
Yeah.
So I always knew I had a bit of talent, but I can remember in America when the turning point, there was a team from Ulster went to New Jersey, and there was 11 people fighting, and I was only one got beat. And I went, this has to stop now, like, because we were fighting New York the next night.
Yeah.
I remember saying to Stephen down there, and he said, if I beat them on it, I'm packing it in. But I'm going to box, so I've always wanted to box, like hands down movement and stuff like that there. And I got boxing in it, but it was voted by the fighters. I remember Rick Conlon was there, he was raising, because he wanted it. So I was a turning point. I think I ended up winning about like 28 out of 30 fights or something like that.
Great. See, when you give yourself ultimatums, like this is it, then you just a flick just switches, and then
it's like you don't care no more. It's just like it is what it is now. And then because it makes you relax, you're not as nervous, and just float.
Yeah, and then so that was a turning point in America, and. Did you take any like inspiration, and obviously from your own boxing heroes, but from that wee trip, did you see how any of the American fighters were boxing? Did you look at them and say, I can have that in the mindset?
In my opinion, see, at that time, American amateurs were pretty poor because they've went through so long with it, like getting the gold medal with the men's anyway. Close to Shields got gold, but Ireland were kind of better than America at the time, so I didn't fear anybody. You get me? So, but it was more studying it on YouTube with Mayweather. Like, see how much I would have watched boxing. Remember in the barbers where I worked in, there was VHS tips. It was called Boxers. So
I remember
they were unreal.
I had all.
No, there was 100 tapes, but there was about 4 or 5 fights on every tape, and I used to sit and watch all of them all day because the barbers I worked in weren't even really that busy. And it was like a wee old school one, and I sat and watched boxing the whole day. Went to boxing, then come home and watched boxing probably till about 1 in the morning. So I went on for years. Yeah. But then the stuff I was looking at was like stuff that I was going, I'm going to try it tomorrow night in boxing, going to do this, going to do that. I actually remember I used to get Kevin Haynes in, because I used to watch Pernell Whitaker as well. I used to get Kevin,
that's my cult.
And I used to watch him do his head movement. And I used to go running on practice at the morning. So I used to get a couple of kids in the club, Holy Trinity. I just used to move about my hands down. Kevin was one of them.
Let them try and
hit you. Yeah. And but that was me practicing head movement then. So all that stuff made me better.
Yeah. And then you got was it the junior championships? And then you looked, because I remember looking on the draw, and there was James Fern, who, in my opinion, is the greatest schoolboy boxer that ever come out of.
People don't get it.
Like,
I used to edit.
Boy, 1-3. Like, that guy was just unbelievable.
I can remember his speed. There was because he beat Kakatsi in one of Kakatsi's first fights. Kakatsi beat him too.
Yeah.
But I can remember idolizing both of them. And see, every time I would have sparred Kakatsi, I was up for it because I listened, but he was probably had 2 fags on the way to boxing. You know what I mean? But see, James Farron, I can remember when I was fighting him, you were. I was just like, I'm happy enough just to
Short
be
of
in here with
him.
him.
Yeah.
He gave me a standing count in the first round. Then I clawed it back and ended up beating him. But that's one of my best.
That's a big
best
win.
wins.
Like, I
Oh,
was,
big time.
I remember when I just joined boxing, he was
The king.
the only guy who had a nickname. It was on the program, James the Future
That's right.
Fern, and he had a poncho. Like everyone else was showing up wearing the club's gear that they gave
100%.
you. We all looked like a mess.
Yeah.
He had all Adidas custom stuff, the Future on his poncho. I think they get in. He just looked so polished.
So good.
And then
It was the Floyd Mayweather boy won the threes.
unreal. Like there'll never be. I've never seen an R1 like it.
The speed was just unbelievable.
And then, like, as you say, he beat Kiketsi. I think he beat him in the novices, but then Kiketsi came back and beat him a couple of times after. But Kiketsi is the genuine goat. But like,
so natural. Like
so natural.
I teach my kids chat coach and stuff like that there, but I can remember the first memories I have of Kiketsi in the All Irelands, and he was slowly get up the way.
Yeah.
He still does this.
He does it, aye.
But
that's
no
never
one
not taught, don't know.
No one taught him it. He just walked in and went, "Do you know what? I think this will work here."
And he has like the boxing IQ like through the roof. See if you ever talk to him about boxing or what to do and tactics, no? He's just unbelievable at it. And I said, and people think I'm joking, and I'd said it's a joke with a jag. The more he trains, the worse he is. I said that to Mickey because I was training with Kiketsi before his last fight, and the sides that we're doing was a killer. Obviously, it's a world championship fight. And I pulled Mickey to the side, and I'm like, he's want to tone it down. Everybody's got a big fight here.
You're not even sure.
Because I just think once he's not fully fit, then he's more alert and he uses all his attributes, and
100%.
he's just
like it makes him like because he's always been that way.
Yeah,
he knows how to survive even if he's not fit.
Yeah,
so
100%.
So see sometimes, but when you make someone fitter, they throw more punches and then they walk on the more shots and stuff like that. So it's all in the individual, and you have to find the balance with everybody, and it's hard like as well. But Kiketsi,
he's just different.
People don't get it. People do not.
And
get it.
I've been saying it from ever knew him. He's the greatest boxer to ever come out of this country.
Yeah.
And people always thought I was just being a lick because he's my mate. And then after he beat Cordina, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, Tommy, you're right." Friends in Manchester, "Oh, you're a mate.
Yeah.
You've always been saying about him." And it's just, it came late, but it's better late than never, isn't it?
Big time. Like, in my opinion, he's IBF and IBO world champion, and he still hasn't fulfilled his potential.
Oh no.
See if he actually
it's
really
mad to think it, isn't it?
If he really put it in, he could have been world champion 10 years ago, and probably still world champion right
Yeah.
now. People just don't get it how good. Like, see nowadays, you've got kids who, once they win the All-Irelands or the cadets, they're stood on the European team to get medals, come back. But it wasn't like that. It was 4 nations back when we boxed. There was, now, when we were 14, that was the first
that was
kind of year.
4 nations, yeah. And then Kiketsi was on the first ever high performance team when it just
started
his inception, the first junior team. So like you said, they didn't have them opportunities that the kids have now.
Yeah. People, I remember older people used to say stuff like that, but it sounded more like they were jealous of like the younger people's success because they didn't do it. But it's genuinely true. There was no high performance. The teams didn't really go on Europeans and World Championships the way to do now.
Go for a wee squad train on a Saturday, and
that's right.
That was it. But back to your career, Andy. You won the All Ireland and you were getting success. You won 28 or 30 fights. What led you to turning pro? Like, did you have any ambitions for the Olympics or Commonwealths? Or
see, what happened to me was after there was do you remember the tournament where it was to go to Commonwealth Games in 2010?
Yeah,
I beat Conrad Cummins and then I beat Conor Coyle the next night, and then obviously Eamon O'Kane got to go, which was a good pick because he got a gold medal. But I can remember going to Ann Appa a few months later, and I had a punch machine and broke my hand, and I was out for a year. I couldn't even move my fingers. My fingers were dead.
Did you miss the ball or something?
You see, what happened? Seen a big steroid head hitting it, and he got like 300. And I go, smash this. And I've never really drank, but I was drunk on it.
Yeah.
Smashed it, but punched right through it and hit the machine. But it was out of boxing for a year, and then I come back. was like kind of rushed. And remember there was a tournament, I think you fought Kenny Egan at 91, and I fought Conrad
To
Cummins.
go to the World Championships. Yeah,
that was to go to Azerbaijan, I think it was. That's
Yeah.
where Mick qualified for
Yeah.
the Olympics. But that was a tournament to go, and I wasn't really ready and got hammered. Conrad hammered me, so. And then after that, it was kind of like, I don't even know what I'm doing here in boxing, but I got talking to Tony Dunlap, and he was good friends with Gary Head, and Tony was saying to me, why don't you think about turning pro? You just come in the barbers and sit with me, and then because Tony never had no pros at the time, and I says, why not? But there wasn't really pro scene wasn't really big back then. Hadley Martin, Lindsay, Carfram, Rogie. There was a few up in the McCulloch's gym, like Ray and all were starting to turn pro, and Jared Healy and Mark. And so I went out if they're doing it, I may as well do it. And then but it actually hit off, like, because I fought Jared Healy in my pro debut, and it was like a Lana Doon first St James thing. Because I can remember selling tickets to a few people, and they went, oh, you're fighting Jared Healy? He knocked me out about 10 years ago. So we're going to watch he punch ahead of him. But there was a few people I sold tickets to. And
was that Jared's debut as well?
No, he won a fight about 2 months before in the Holiday Inn or something like that, Aliu show. And but it's class to have a debut against someone from Belfast, because usually people fight 100 losses, 1 win, and they just run away. But because it kind of grabbed the area that it was fighting someone from who's local, then it actually made people want to get behind me more in the area and stuff like that. And they were like, for me, we've got a pro boxer in the area, because to say it wasn't really a big thing.
Wasn't a thing,
So I wasn't a. Nowadays, when people turn pro, it's like, sure, everybody's pro. But back then, it was a bit of a big deal. So, but yeah, so really kicked off, and they probably the best days of my life. I loved them days.
Because I remember during your pro career, you were getting momentum. You actually got momentum pretty fast, but then it became a thing of like, because I was still an amateur at the time, people were talking to me down south. They were going, "Oh, that lad Walsh up your way. Oh, he's some prospect." But I was going, they probably hadn't even seen him, but you were all over the place, Irish boxing, and there was a magazine, you were on the cover of the magazine.
That's right. And then there was I used to buy boxing news every week, especially when I worked in the bar. I used to walk around the Eastons and buy boxing news. And the first thing I went to was it was like a quick fire 1 minute question thing. But I remember there was one time I was on it. I thought I had made it. I was loving it. That's probably one of the proudest moments, because I love boxing news.
And you had not watched it, you bought it every week.
In it, I can't believe it.
Have you still got it?
No, it's in my house
somewhere in the attic.
Yeah.
And so your career was flying, and then you won the Irish title. And you were sort of becoming known as a slickster. Like, you couldn't hit you with a bag of peas. And so all that caving trying to hit you, it all paid off.
Because your name was some memory, it never leaves you.
And you were tapping bills in. So you were a household name in Belfast boxing, or in Irish boxing.
Yeah.
So with the Walsh train flying, you kind of just abruptly ended. Like, what made you want to?
You see, at this stage, I can remember, I think it had to do with probably the way I was making weight, but I would have like starved myself for like 7 days. Like, I would have had ice cubes, and see, nowadays within about 2 years.
Them days you don't even have any nutritional advice or anything.
So I didn't know what to do. All I knew was starve and not drink water. And plus I was like training twice a day.
Stick a black bag on, just all old school stuff.
With a sweatsuit on, in a sweat room, and with heaters blasting and stuff like that there. And I think it started actually affecting my mental health really badly. And so every day was grey. Seeing I was like thinking about the day ahead, and I was going, if it's sunny outside, and I was like, I better have to train twice a day. But it was the way I was training, and it was because I wasn't eating. I mean, it was no one's fault but my own. Because
you didn't know, you didn't have the knowledge.
I didn't have knowledge. Like, see, nowadays, like, when Poddy tells me he's 6 kilo over a week before it or 2 weeks before it, right? I know he's going to get good advice off Tony O'Neill, and he's going to make it comfortable. But as I said, in them days, I was losing like 10 kilo in 10 days and thinking, this is the way it's done. And then after the weigh-in, you were blown right up again. Because I used to put on like 10 kilo in a day. And because the food I was eating, obviously I was drinking a lot. But as I say, every time I was training and it was over, I was like, thank God that's over. But then I was going, but I have to do this all again tomorrow.
Yeah, it was getting you down.
Get me down on. And I was thinking, like, do you ever see when you listen to music, you get a good feeling? I wasn't getting that feeling no more. And it was never sunny, it was grey. It was, so even after the fight, you go, you've got a week break, but then you were putting on loads of weight.
So
And then you're having to do
it.
it all again. So it was just constantly in my mind, I have to do this all again. So that's
You
had
don't wanna
the
live that
end,
way.
yeah. So I think that was the biggest. There was like I was there a lot of things in my head that was going on, but that was probably the biggest thing that was doing the most damage.
Yeah, I remember because I trained with Tony Dunlap for about a year, and a story that he loved telling about making weight, when everyone was struggling. He was I went to Spain with Dee Walsh,
That's right.
and he was dehydrated, and he was going to pull out a fight. I went, here, take out orange.
Right.
He sucked in an orange, lifted him up, and he got in, he boxed. He was like Muhammad Ali, box brilliant.
That saved my life.
So
that
he
orange.
always, when we were fighting, I think I had maybe 3 fights with Tony, and he would bring out orange, the changing room every fight.
That saved my life, that orange, I'm telling you. See, the weigh-in was at night time, and I was like 3 kilo over, so I had to make 3 kilo by at night. But we had to go to like a press conference things. It was Sergio Martinez's show. I'll never forget it. See, Tony saying about he got that orange. We were sitting at the back, and while Sergio Martinez was talking, Tony just downed it up to the table, and there was like a plate of oranges, apples and stuff. He just lifted the orange, and everyone was like, as he was talking, he was like looking at Tony like, what's going on here? And Tony just downed it back down again, just handed him it.
And then that
saved
was
my
you.
life. Box like Muhammad Ali.
So do you give oranges to your fighters now, or
Nah, it was
do you
just-
even suggest it, or is it just
Nah, see me when it comes to nutritional advice, I let the professionals deal with it because one, I'm not qualified, and I actually don't even think I think it's against the law. Actually, to tell someone what to eat. I think there's only like few people in Northern Ireland that's qualified.
because my nutritionist was Stephen Floyd, and I never had any nutritional advice until I was fighting for the European title, and I was like 29.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm boxing from I was 12, and he said that there's a couple of people just who's qualified to do it.
Yeah.
But everyone else is like masquerading, letting on to be dietitians.
on to know
But
it.
he went to uni and knows.
Yeah, there's only some people you can trust when it comes out. As you
And
said,
that's across the board. I think with pro boxing,
big time.
pro boxing is a bit of a free for all. Anyone can just get involved, and you don't need to be qualified. You don't have to. You just lift a pair of pads or do a PT course. The next thing you're an S&C coach, or I'm fucking the head. I'm the chief seconds just because you have the friggin' the pair of pads. And there's people never through a day in their life, and it's mad though.
The only I've never really had any help in terms of people in the gym with me. I would more do it myself, but obviously I would have people like Sean Crow helps with the strength foundation with a couple of fighters, and there's Tony helps out with nutrition, and there's other people have the other coaches and other nutritionists, but the only person kind of really helped me was Frankie Cullers. He come up and used to
R.I.P.
do pads, and Frankie's a good pad man too. Very good.
And he
He's
had
very
good
fast.
knowledge for boxing as
Exactly,
well.
and he loved it. He loved boxing. Like he always had all the gear and whatever, and it's a shame that we've lost him because he's one of 5 few friends who you knew if you text him at any stage and had been 3 in the morning, he'd been there, give you a lift here, lift there, or whatever you needed. I mean, Frankie was that type of guy. It's a pity we've lost him.
And he's one of probably the most well-liked person in this city. I've never heard anyone say a bad word about him.
You couldn't.
Such a nice guy.
It's such a shame.
Tragic loss. So R.I.P. Frankie. Then after he retired from boxing, as you say, it was grey days, and you just hated everything about it. You've turned to God then. How did that come about?
I always knew the rig, and they went till Christian meetings. I never knew what they were, but at that stage, because with depression, kind of leads you into a place where you're overthinking and stuff like that. And I can remember thinking very, very deeply to think to myself, is there a God? Isn't there a God? Like, if I was to commit suicide here, where do I go to? Do I go to heaven? Do I go to hell? all these like thoughts crossing my mind. Like not that saying that it was going
Yeah,
to
but
commit
you
suicide, but it
just
was like if it
contemplating
did,
it.
like work.
Yeah.
But my mind was going to places that it wouldn't usually go to. But then I started like doing a bit of investigation and watching debates like the best atheist scientist versus the best Christian scientist and Muslim scientists and stuff like that there. And I thought it was stupid to believe in God. I thought scientists and whatever basically disproved it. But I was watching these debates and I started going to myself, do you know what? They're handling them easy. Like the arguments, the best arguments they had versus the best arguments the Christians had. And I was going to myself, do you know what? I look at the evidence, I go to myself, there is a creator.
Mm.
Then I started looking into who is the creator. Started looking into different religions, stuff like that, and the only one that clicked for me and made the most sense was the Bible. And then when I looked into the Bible, seeing that about Jesus and the fact that he even historical evidence like proves that he died on the cross, and then the evidence afterwards that he appeared to people being alive and stuff like that about his resurrection, that I went to myself, that has to be true. And if Jesus did rise from the dead, then there is a God and he is God in the flesh. But if he didn't rise from the dead, then there probably isn't a God.
Yeah.
So as I say, the evidence to me pointed towards Christ.
And then so you started going to meetings in with Ray.
Started going in. It was so actually we crew of us, and it took my mind completely off the trauma of boxing, because I really really hated it towards the end, and then it kind of numbed me till any depression I had, and it gave me a new focus to learn about the God, the Creator.
Yeah. And then did you get baptized?
Yeah.
And I remember you and Ray were going on like friggin' nationwide speaking tours. I went to Ray's testimony and I was like, fuck, Ray, this is like, it was packed out. It was like,
it's a different world. Like,
yeah.
But they also, I loved them this. Really did. Me and Ray would have went all over like Northern Ireland to
spread the
preach
word
and give our testimonies and meet people like from the country and stuff like that there, and we had serious crack as well.
Yeah. Are you still a believer now?
So
or?
I see, when you come to the truth, you can't not believe.
Yeah.
You get me?
Do you still go to church? Or were you ever going to church?
Yeah. For years I was, and then I kind of took a back step, but I'm still a believer.
Yeah.
I would say, I put it this way, that in a football team, there's good players and there's bad players, but I would be the bad player. I'd be the worst player on the team.
But you're still on
But
the
I still
team?
believe. I'm still part of the team. You know what I mean?
And did boxing, now that you had like you're strong in your faith, was boxing conflicting with your faith or?
No, not really. I don't believe it does. You look at the good boxing does for people. Look at the good it done for me.
Yeah.
And even the when I'm with the kids, it's all positive. You know what I mean? Like, Maz and Daz will come to me and tell me the difference that the club is making in their child, and what they were before and what they are now. And I could tell you some horrific stories, but I would never tell. But what kids go through, especially see where the club is in Corpus. It's in between Ballymurphy, White Rock, and then St James is just down the road. So it's probably the heart of crime where we are. And in my opinion, Corpus will be a shining light to the community. And in my opinion, it's in darkness with drugs and drink and whatever else, kids being neglected and stuff like that. And to me, the Boston Club's a refuge, so I don't see it as that it conflicts with.
So you're in essence doing God's work by being a boxing coach.
Yeah.
So after you went through, depression and then the darkness and seeing the light, then you came back to coaching now. Who was the first person you coached?
Stephen Webb.
Stephen Webb?
Stephen Webb. Whatever happened, there was a lot of things going on with Stephen, and he ended up, he couldn't get a fight. He tried training for nearly a year and he just couldn't get a fight. And then other people started coming, like Connor Cook, and then Rory Dalton came. So then there's Crocker, Owen O'Neill, Podrick, Connor Quinn, Colin Murphy all started joining.
Yeah.
So no, the place was flying. So I never ever set it to be anything, or I just enjoyed being in the boxing gym again. Because for years I didn't go anywhere near it. So the fact I was just back in it again and then teaching stuff and then seeing it work in the ring and stuff I got there, even it just gave me a bit of a buzz and wanted me to do it more and more.
And then what got you back involved with the amateur scene?
So there was at the time in Glen, Marty McCulloch was coming up to the All Irelands. There was no the coach, one of the coaches was out sick, and I think a couple of coaches were out sick. So it was left with me and Bounty, and we then bring Marty down the All Irelands, and he won them. Like he lost a few finals in a row before it, and he won them, and then that gave me a buzz to really start training amateurs in. But unfortunately, around about that stage, COVID kicked in, and so I never really got to properly train the amateurs till after COVID. But it was a few years before that. Obviously, it was training the pros and stuff.
So, like you say, you're helping the kids, but you've always, when you're in Glen, I think there must have been about 100 kids involved.
Mm-hmm.
But you started making a name for yourself, started becoming infamous in the amateur boxing scene. Are you the first coach I ever heard of getting banned from a championship?
Three times.
What happened?
First night back after COVID, three of our fighters, but I've enhanced my knowledge on amateur boxing. See, when me and you box, it's not like that no more. It's completely different, and you're not allowed to move your head no more. You're not allowed to slip. You're not allowed to roll, because if you slip, pull your shoulder. If you roll, you're told keep your head up, and because of the no head gears now, and the more you move your head, it's cuts. That's why I'm not saying that they're wrong for doing it, but my fighters were getting points stuck up and stuff like that. And I was going, what is going on here? So first night back, I can remember throwing a towel and slobbering and
throw the towel during the fight.
No, it was after the fight. Get stopped, and but I was getting on like an easy, to be honest with you.
Fuck it.
That's what I'm saying. That's the way I was getting on, and people were telling me to calm down, whatever. And then I got a email saying,
but seeing people tell you to calm down
makes it worse.
It does the opposite. Like, why do people just give you a second and you'll calm yourself?
Yeah, but as I say, like I got banned a few times after that. But at the same time, everything's all good now. Like in terms of, they say infamous and them days are over, because I noticed that it wasn't doing our kids any good. Like I'm not saying that they were robbing them but I was going to myself like, what's the point?
It's Dee Walsh's fighter.
Yeah. And I think they might have been at the time going to themselves. They're probably enjoying seeing me coming too, because see nowadays I see that the coaches, when the fighter gets robbed and he goes metal, I think it's funny. So they probably see me coming, thought the same thing. But no, I got banned a few times, but I've ended up going to my judging course and stuff, and then seeing what judges want to see and then when it comes to then that made me teach my kids a wee bit different. Then when it comes to
what the judges are looking for, what are they actually looking for?
Well, they say that the first rule is shots landed, ring generalship, and competitiveness. So it's a weird one, the competitiveness one. That means anything if you get beat, but if you keep trying and trying, you can get around. Which I don't agree with. I don't agree. I love the computer scoring. Back in the day, there was far less robberies back in.
I think computer scoring, is good, but people are judging who don't know what they're looking at.
Yeah.
So computer scoring, like you said, there was far less robberies, because if a punch lands, it lands.
Come up on the screen.
But then there's people not hitting a button. They're going, I don't think there was enough force, or it wasn't on the target, or people just going bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, true.
So you just, a bit of competence, I think, is...
I don't think we're ever going to get it perfect.
Yeah.
Don't think it's
because it's such a subjective sport.
Exactly. So even competitiveness, like when they say ring generalship, does that mean center ring, or does that mean you're in control on the back foot?
On it, yeah.
But mostly it means center ring.
Yeah.
So when I was getting, I wanted my kids to box kind of like the way I did, like hit and move, but it's not like that no more at all.
I've actually noticed that with Julio Cruz, and he's a back foot boxer. I think probably the best boxer I've ever seen in my life.
I'd say so too.
And he, world champion, Olympic champion, and then in this Olympics he lost. and his style, he hadn't changed the style, hadn't done anything different. I thought he won the fight, but
Yeah.
it's obviously because he's on the back foot.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, because he did win a lot on the back foot, but it seems to be more that's changing the in the center ring. And again, preference. Some people may like the back foot. If I was judging, in my opinion, it's shots landed all day long, whether in the front foot or back foot.
When people say to me, what should I do? I say hit him more than he hits you. It's a joke, but that is basic rule of winning, isn't it?
It's simple, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, so because I've done my judging course and stuff like that, there, it's enhanced my knowledge, and seeing my fighter gets beat, you can kind of see why they get beat. You know what I mean? And then they can improve on it. It's all experience. That's what I keep learning, is the fact that when kids lose, it's not the end of the world. It's just all experience.
Yeah.
But trying to drill out a kid too, who just lost and they're crying, it's hard, but it is what it is. I mean,
what do you prefer, training the amateur kids or pros?
To be honest with you, I love both equally. Absolutely love it. Actually, I love the people in the pro game, to be honest. Even the board, I think they're very, very helpful people. You know, they're not out there to bring you down or be on your back. I love the pro boxing. I love the fact as well that they get the recognition they deserve when it comes to social media and doing interviews and newspapers and stuff like that there. But I love that, the fact that fighters get recognition because it's such hard work. But I love both. But see when you're fighter, you're producing internationals as well. Like we've had 4 in the last 2 years, internationals, and some feeling whenever kids do get on the Irish Fest, and you're like, you're on yourself again, producing the best in the country here. It's some feeling.
Yeah. So it shows that your work isn't in vain. But just to go back to you and Podrick's journey, because like you say, his friends grew up in the same area. Podrick's career has just been like a rocky story. And he had a big fight last week. And you were in the corner.
Yeah.
How did that feel to be like working the corner headline at the SSC?
It's amazing. This year has been like Conor Quinn also headlined the SSC, even though
that's right.
We had to win that fight, and unfortunately we didn't. Then Podrick in Orlando and at his own matchroom card against Berlanga.
Yeah.
So all them experiences helped me last week when I came to and down the corner. Even you're always learning this game, but especially at that level, like there's a lot to be learned. And
the guy was a tricky opponent. I had never heard of him before.
See,
I remember talking to Podrick in the gym, and he was like, "Oh, he's awkward, but he's did he have 17 wins, 16 knockouts? So he's gonna be dangerous."
So I looked at him on his box track. Like I study fighters, like I looked at him be starstruck when they come. I watch him that much, but I looked at his amateur record. He get beat by a point to go to Olympics by Felix Diaz. Now Felix Diaz was not going to get a gold medal, and he beat in the qualifiers with some Pan American or something like that there, and he's one to beat Johnny Joyce. Felix, he fought Terence Crawford. So I remember going to I was actually watching it going, do you know what? He's the real deal. He's got skill.
Yeah.
And he reminds you of a Cuban. He reminds you of like the Cruz when I was watching.
Yeah, he did. Like when I was watching it in the fight, because he's from Barcelona, it said, but it's like
Colombia. Yeah.
But he lives in Barcelona.
Yeah. And so I said to Podrick 2 months ago, see this guy, if we had him in the managed properly, he'd be at the top. And Podrick went, no way. Because Podrick's obviously thinking like it's a winnable, kind of easy fit. He's been knocked out a few times and whatnot. So he went, no way, don't be telling me that. And I said, Podrick, I'm telling you now, this guy's a good fighter. And when Podrick put him down in the first round, I was like, thank God, I'll get this over and done with, like, and we'll get out of here. And then he had Podrick that shot. I was like, what? This can't be happening.
Heart was in my mouth.
I was too, because I've seen Podrick buzzed a few times. Like, it's a pro game. Like, if you swim, you get wet.
But never in that way.
But see the way he fell back on the ropes, I actually went, oh, no way. This can't be happening here.
And your mom was swinging him from the rafter.
Yeah, and then Q Russell was on the deck at one stage. And then got him back to the corner, got the water, threw all over him, whatever. I think, in my opinion, that's probably the sharpest I've ever been in the corner because of what
he needed to be,
Needed to be 100%. And So thank God we got through that one, because it was a total nightmare, Southpaw and all too. Like, even though even in the amateurs, like or Southpaw v Orthodox, there's a lot of thinking involved.
Big time.
And you have to keep your feet sharp, and you can't fall asleep, because if you do, it's a big left hand down the pipe. And I think I've seen a few comments like, Paddy's corner should have been telling them to avoid the left hand. They're going, what?
Sure. Everyone knows that anyway.
You've got two hands. Obviously, you don't want to get back anyhow. But like, what type of left hand was it? Was it a same time left hand? Was it a slip left hand? Was it an uppercut, hook straight on the front foot?
I can remember, it's just like the guy was just swinging. Like, he wasn't like, really like trying to set up a punch. He was just looking for the knot.
See the shot he hit Paddy with? He did set that up, and it was the way he done it again. Hook. And it was wild. Paddy tried to hit him the same time shot. And avoid the left hand. It's a bit thick, like,
do you read the comments and stuff after your fights?
I did that time. No, man, I was actually intrigued to see what people thought of it, because it was such a good fight.
Yeah.
And you always get one or two have a
no matter what people they're gonna hate.
Yeah, but I laugh. Honest to God, I laugh, because see in boxing, I'll tell you a story. There was someone who you know him really well, and he probably doesn't even remember saying this to me, but I can remember the time before I went to America. I just lost in the Ulster Elite semi-final or something by a point, and I was going really bad at the time. And he said to me, so what's happening? It was in front of about 10 people. So what's happening to me? When's next? And I went, I'm going to go freeze. There was an All Ireland at the time, and it got you go to the Europeans or something like that there. But I said, Charlie, his name, I said to Charlie, I'm going to go for 75. And he went, sick kid, you could stop in the first round. Stephen O'Reilly's going that way. And I remember going, shit, there's probably about 10 people. I back over in the barbers, and I, honest to God, I went, what am I even doing this for? It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
But then within 4 months, I ended up beating him twice. You know what I mean? European gold medalist. And so if someone like Charlie has been in the game so long and got it wrong, then people who are sitting behind keyboards on the phone come in. That's when I stopped coming anybody thought. See, especially when I got over that hurdle of beating him, who was no one thought I was going to beat him. I was going to myself then, like, if someone doesn't believe in these, then what's it to you? Like,
you have to believe in yourself. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, with Podrick, no one ever thought he would have picked up a world title. And then next thing he's won it, then he's got
because Paddy was saying
Podrick's a man, and
exactly, yeah. But Paddy was like, if you had Paddy turned pro at 29 or something like that, if you had said that he was going to do what he's done, you'd say it's full of crap. Yeah, you wouldn't know what you're talking about. But then there you go. Like, I've even got kids as well, who have beat Irish internationals a year older than them and stuff like that there, and no one ever thought that the fight would even be close. And even I was like, fit me, it's going to be a tough fight here. And then when you overcome them, you're going to yourself, fit me. Like,
and see, like, boxing's a sport where it's a 2-horse race, anything could happen. Mm-hmm. So as long as you're in it, you've got a chance.
Big
no
time.
matter what.
Big time, and mindset's big too. And that's one thing, even as a coach, it's very hard to get your fighter ready in their mindset, because has to kind of come from within as well, doesn't it?
Definitely. You have to manage yourself.
Mm-hmm. So as I say, I didn't care. I don't really care what anybody thinks. So when I read that comment, sometimes I just laugh and go like, should have told him to avoid the left hand. Like, come on here, like, fit me. Nuts. But as I say, don't care.
So what's the future and what's the plans for 2025? You got any new prospects in the gym, or
there's a few fighters who've been training with me recently who are turning pro. Just have to get a few things sorted with managers and stuff like that. But there's a fighter in a few weeks here called Hija McMahon. He's fighting. He just never had an amateur fight, but he's really, really good.
Turning pro.
He's turning pro, and people would think you'd be mad to do that. Let a fighter turn pro without amateur fights. But
look at what's his name?
Fraser
Clark.
Yeah. What's his name again? Fabio Worley. And that's what I'm saying. Like, so if he can do it, then Hija can do it. You know?
Happy days.
But I've also got John Boyd. Colin Bradley has to do or get a few things sorted with the British board, because he always have something to do with the Irish board. He's first time doing it with him, and there's like Jack McGivern. He's turning pro. I think Lee Reeves may be fighting next month in Canada.
Right.
So no, it's always busy.
Yeah.
I'd say I tap that with the kids too. Of even like we Dan Hunters fighting in the UK Championships here today in England. So I'm always busy.
Yeah, so you're
always
flat
every
out.
single week.
Yeah.
Always doing something.
Great stuff. Well, Dean, in the words of Tyrone, we've talked enough shit. Thanks for coming on, and thanks for listening, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. Get on a Patreon. It's £2 a month, and check out Dee on all your socials. What are all your socials?
It's Dee Waldo Welch.
Dee Waldo Welch, and yes, we'll be back next week. Peace. With him going all the way.